The title for Star Wars Episode 9 is probably coming out in a few weeks.
It's never coming.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Resistance broadcast. How you all doing today? It is Monday morning. We hope you're going to cure some of your Monday blues with us. I'm John Hoey. We have a great show because we have some news to talk about, some rumors to talk about. John Boyega is on the Instagrams again. Galaxy's Edge ride details, which has me pretty excited. And we are also going to get into a bunch of your questions, some of which are pretty interesting. So thanks again for joining us. We have a shortened staff today because James Bainey is not here. I know that may surprise some of you.
No.
Back as always, there she is, laughing right out of the gates. Lacey Gillerin, what's up, Lacey?
I have the Monday blues that James isn't here.
Yeah, no James today.
What are we gonna do? He talks about the books.
I don't know. We'll have to talk about some books. I don't know. I am going to talk about the comics a little later. But
I don't know anything about the books.
Yeah, guys, let James know how much you miss him by hitting him up on Twitter at Myra Trunks. That is a Dragon Ball reference. And yeah, talk to him about Star Wars. Keep him in the mix because I know he is upset that he's not going to be on this episode. So,
sorry,
but Lacey,
James.
We should get into these poll results. What do you think?
Let's do it.
Okay, so we asked you guys, do you think the first trailer for Star Wars Episode 9 will debut at Star Wars Celebration in April? And I was actually shocked how patient and skewed this was in terms of everyone's perspective on this. 84% said yes. We're not getting a trailer or teaser until Celebration in April, which means only 16% of the folks out there said we're going to get something sooner. I thought it was going to be a little closer because a lot of people that I've been seeing on Twitter and online think Super Bowl because of Solo had that on that teaser clip.
It's also just a big event that people just assume.
Did you think it was going to be this skewed? 85% of the people thinking when we're waiting until Celebration.
I honestly thought you were going to say, Lacey, do you think the trailer should be out by now? And I was going to be like, well, the sugar says that yes. Does it surprise me? Do you think the first trailer will debut? Not really. I mean, people are just assuming now that they're like, why wouldn't they wait for their big event that's basically sold out to do this stuff at? Like, why not do it for the people that are paying basically to see it?
Right. Yeah.
Makes
I mean,
sense.
although they will live stream that panel on the Star Wars YouTube channel. I know they did that for The Last Jedi.
They did. Verizon's Wireless was the sponsor.
That's right. What I am wondering is you have people who are saying the patterns, so it will be Celebration, so maybe that was a big part of the vote.
Right.
And then also, I think a lot of people, and this is how I feel, I don't think Episode 9 needs something like the Super Bowl. I think they want Episode 9's big announcements to come on its own sort of thing, so it's not muddled in with all other movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's hard because we've seen, even with The Last Jedi, that they waited to do stuff during certain things. So like the last trailer for Last Jedi came out during a basketball game or a football game. What was it?
Football, yeah.
Football.
Monday Night Football.
So like people obviously think of like, what is ABC trying to promote? Because they're going to shove this in there.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Good Morning America. They always give it to Good Morning America.
You could guarantee, unless they're really going to bounce off in different directions here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi both had a mid to early October Monday Night Football halftime trailer.
Right.
So I'm guessing we'll get a final trailer for Episode 9 around that time too.
Right.
But yeah, this thing, I'm kind of with them. I voted, I think at this point, Celebration also. But where some people got a little mixed up is the title, I think, is definitely still coming soon.
I think it's coming like a lot sooner than we think it is.
You think when then? I mean, you thought it was way sooner because you thought before Christmas, but
I think before the Super Bowl. I think we're going to get it in the next week or so.
What?
Yeah.
Do you know anything? Did you hear anything?
No.
Are you lying to me?
No. Why would I lie to you? Second of all, I wouldn't say that if I knew anything. I wouldn't want anyone to know.
Call me after we record.
I'm just saying that so that if they announce it, I could be like, what'd I say?
Yeah,
I told you.
Yeah, just keep announcing dates and then one of them will be right.
Yeah. So next week I'm going to be like, I think it's coming out in the next week or so.
Exactly.
That's my plan.
I think I
You
still
heard it
think
here first.
I still think end of February, but we'll get into why I think that in a little bit. But we do have a best comment. And speaking of Star Wars Celebration, Lacey, our best comment was by a person who goes by the name of Celebrating Star Wars. And their handle is Celebrating SW, which it's funny. Anytime that account tweets at me, I confuse it with Star Wars Celebrations account because Star Wars Celebrations account is SW Celebration.
It's SW
underscore celebration, right? Yeah. And this person is celebrating SW. But anyway, they said, will it be Celebration for the first trailer? And they said, yep. And I can't wait to be in the room. First US Celebration. So there's not only is their name Celebrating Star Wars.
Good luck being in that room.
They're going to be at Celebration celebrating Star Wars. I guess you couldn't have this name without being at Star Wars.
That's awesome. I don't know who it is, but I hope to see you there. It's going to be a really good time. Guys, I say this all the time. The energy at Celebration is unlike anything I've ever witnessed. It's especially in the room when they show like new trailers or introduce surprise guests, like the energy, you just thrive off of it. It's just amazing.
What I'm the most nervous about, though. We're not nervous, but stressed out or anxious about is getting into what panels when and that sort of thing. Like even New York Comic Con, I was like, yeah, I know you have the VIP pass, whatever. But you think this person's going to come up to us and be like, hi, how you doing? John, Lacey, James, my name is Celebrating. And this is...
I hope so. Celebrating Star Wars. I hope I see you there and I hope you come and say hi to me. I hope everybody does, to be honest.
They could introduce themselves as their Twitter name. Like, hi, my name is Celebrating. Nice to meet you.
I get to be like, hey, I'm at Lacey Gilleran. What's up?
Right.
Because I got that handle.
That's why the name tag thing, may have to get the name tag thing going on.
I just really hope people don't get scared and they actually come up to say hi to me. Like that would be my nightmare, is that what's people happen, see me and then don't say hi because I want to meet new people.
Guarantee this is going to happen because it's just how it works with online and how we operate as people. All these people we interact with all the time on Twitter, whether it's peers or people who listen to the podcast.
Right.
Once they're going to like pass us in person because they don't want to like have a real human interaction. I hope that's not the case.
Know,
I hope people are like, hey, I know you.
I love meeting new people, guys. As you learned from our little like happy 2018 recap, the first time I ever spoke with these guys, like it was like being with my people. So...
wow, we're doing the whole sweet thing again.
I know. It's not going to last long. It's John and I together for 2 episodes. It's not going to last that long.
Oh, yeah. Spoiler alert. James won't be here on Thursday either. So, sorry, James.
All right.
Lacey, before we move on to the news, we talked to our patron officers about this poll topic, right? And we asked them,
officers,
are you okay with Disney potentially waiting until Celebration to debut the first footage for episode 9? And we gave them options to vote on and let them comment and stuff. So a majority of our Resistance patron officers voted yes, but it better be a full trailer. And our commander, Jetta Rosewater, thank you, Jetta, said, when they're ready to distribute the trailer, I'll be ready. So she is very patient.
I've been ready, guys.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure I'd be on the dark side right now because I'm super impatient.
I am too. It's ridiculous. It really is. All right. So we have to get into the news. And usually we go to James, but I'm going to run through this stuff for us here. So let's fire up the Resistance Report.
It's the Resistance.
All right, Lacey. So the first story...
Thanks, Harrison.
Thanks, Harrison. The first story, Lacey, we have an article we did over at Star Wars Newsnet that confirmed that Episode 9 has returned to the Cardington Air Sheds in Bedfordshire, England. Those are the air sheds where they house the blimps, where they recorded Yavin. They did filming for Yavin for the original Star Wars. They did some Rogue One right? stuff there. Yeah. And a lot of movies like Batman Begins had the whole Gotham narrow city inside one of those things. So you can do a lot of these things. And it was one of the first locations they were found to be filming at when filming began last August. So they're back.
Which is interesting. You think that they would just go back unless they're doing reshoots.
That's the thing. It could be some reshoots. There could be sets there that they left, open and said, we'll leave them there until filming's done because we may have to go back. There could be a Falcon in there. We're not really sure. But our friend Trevor Monk, who lives in that area and is an expert about everything about the air sheds, told us about all this information. So thank you, Trevor. So what do we have here, Lacey? We have the those leaked photos that we saw of Finn, and spoiler alert-ish, not story stuff, but those leaked photos that the Sun put out last August that showed Finn
of them on like a hill,
Chewie, and a bunch of like Star Warsy looking people.
Yeah.
And the horses with the long fur and the face markings, right?
Yeah.
Those horses are back, and they have stables again at the sheds. So it makes us wonder, when you add to the fact that he mentioned Jonas Sotomo was spotted in the area, are more reshoots happening? All these signs are pointing to it. Because, like we said, they started there, and now they're back, right? And filming's supposed to be wrapping up pretty soon. So
I wonder what they could be reshooting, though, like at this point.
It really comes down to, because those things of them on the hill, that took place in a location 45 minutes from the sheds.
Right. It was kind of like out in public, right?
Right. So I think JJ is one of those kind of, I don't know how you describe it, but he's old school. He's very Spielberg, right?
Right.
So he may have had them scout areas by the sheds, knowing they needed to film sets inside those giant sheds, and said, let's do some exterior stuff at these places. And
then mix it in with the sets.
And then mix it in. So I wonder if whatever's going on inside that shed is what's important. Now, is it a set of the Falcon? Because we heard recently Pinewood was tearing down theirs, supposedly. Is it a giant, cityscape looking type of thing?
First of all, how do you tear that down?
I know, right?
As a Star Wars fan, like if I was on the set, I'd be like, guys, I could just take it home. Like, don't worry about it. Like, how could you?
I would try to fly it home. I'd be like, why won't this work?
And even like if I know Pinewood has so many movies that go through there all the time, but like even if I was Pinewood, I'd be like, oh, we'll just store it. Like, you don't have to get rid of this. Like, please don't ruin this.
I don't know, but what's your take on all this stuff from this story, that they're back there, they started there, the horses are there, Chewie might be there? What's your take on this? Do you think reshoots? What do you think?
I don't think it's reshoots, because if it was reshoots, it would, first of all, be later. Usually reshoots come after everything else. Like, they've wrapped and then they go back for reshoots. That's usually what we've heard so far with these Star Wars movies. I think that this is something that was planned, that they're just going back to finish their production schedule. And is it that we read that JJ wants to shoot in succession, like in order of, is that what we talked about?
He's been known for a lot of his films, if not all of them, he likes to record in chronological order.
So maybe they go back to that or something like that. Like, I don't see this as being a reshoot, like they mess something up. I think it's planned. I think they're probably scenes that they don't want anybody to see, so that's why they're inside these sheds. Yeah, and I've heard you can even do so much as get precipitation in those things. Like, I'm sure you can achieve anything inside. They're gigantic. Well, didn't they do like Luke's like hut village and like the rain scene with Rey in there too? Or was that more of a soundstage? I don't think they went to Cardington for The Last Jedi. I could be wrong. Maybe it was just Pinewood. It could, it might have been Pinewood, but I mean, it's exciting. I love that we're getting something, guys. Like, we're so hungry for Star Wars news of anything. He got confirmation. He's like, it's definitely Star Wars, and they're in Shed 2. So we know they're there. Here's my take on it. And it's just, speculation here. But I wonder if when they start production on a movie like this in August, they're like, we need to rent out that shed for 6 months because we're filming for the next 6 months in case we need to go back to that set. Now, what if that set, whatever's there, is still established, still built, they're still paying for the rent on the shed, and let's say Jonas was done with his filming a while ago, and they're like, well, we have these reshoots we need to schedule. Why don't we knock them out now? We have the rental, we have until the end of February at that shed. Let's go start doing the reshoots now with second unit. Oh, yeah, maybe. While JJ wraps first unit at Pinewood. Because we believe Vic Mahoney was tied to this area because she had tweeted from this area when filming began. She shot the field, right? She posted a photo of like the fields and stuff. Yeah, she shot the fields and stuff like that, and nothing has pinned J.J. Abrams to this location for the last 6 months now. Whether he snuck in there, hey Bob, can you look up? It doesn't sound anything like him.
It didn't sound like him? No? What are you going to do? All right. So I don't know. I'm curious. I'm thinking it might be, or them getting reshoots underway, but who knows? But it's an interesting story. It's,
you know what? Coming out of 2018, where not that it was bad in the sense of content, but bad in the sense of fan reactions and everything else negative about Star Wars, the best thing JJ can do is get out in front of everything and be ahead of schedule.
That too. And also,
right?
like we've been saying, once you finish that filming, just start giving us some info. Okay, let's get the show rolling.
He's tweeted once. JJ, you've tweeted once. You told us you'd give us updates.
One damn tweet.
JJ, please. What is happening?
So, Lacey, the other part of this article is a guy I've been talking to who handled something to do with the production, told me that he believes they're filming at the very least for another month.
That makes sense. I mean, there's so much pressure right now to do this movie right.
Right.
So if I was JJ, I'd take my time. It's painful to wait, JJ, but I would take my time and figure everything out and make sure I'm doing everything right. And as someone that does video for a living, and now, right, this moment, you always want to give more information or take more footage than you need. So I did that Patreon exclusive Monopoly review. I shot 40 minutes of me talking about this Monopoly game. I ended up cutting out majority of it out.
That was a good video.
Thank you. And you could see it. $2 on Patreon.
$2?
No, but
well, Lacey,
you always overshoot.
He's using all this Leia stuff because he overshot and shot more footage, so
it's just smart. It's smart filmmaking to overshoot things.
So now this guy I spoke with who was involved with the production, he proved it. He's
so it's legit. A dude. It is a dude.
Well, you never know this day and age.
I'm sitting there with my Guess Who board. I'm like, does he have a beard?
Does he have red hair? Yeah. Is he bald? So he said,
is he wearing a hat?
End of February. I know gifts have started going out. That's usually a sign it's about a month or so away. As far as I know, it's the end of February for principal photography to wrap. We normally get a thank you and an email to wrap up our obligations, aka probably billing.
Invoicing.
Yeah, when they shut down the sets.
From personal experience, they're really quick on their invoices at Disney. They want their money.
So, I'm still thinking end of February for them to wrap, which leads me to the final part of this article, title reveal expectations. I'm still thinking end of February. You just said you think another week or so.
I'm going to keep saying that this week. So you're saying my birthday?
I'm saying around your birthday, around my wife and Lacey have the same birthday. So
we do. February 19th.
It's going to be around that time. That's my guess.
Could you imagine if everything gets released on my birthday? It will be the best birthday of my life.
Be a good birthday. Yeah. I mean, do you want to share your birthday with Star Wars though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. There you go. I only guess February 22nd because it seems like for this past year, they've been making Friday the Star Wars news day.
I know. What is that? All the press people are like, but Thursday is supposed to be press day.
Why Friday? I want to start drinking. I don't know. But the last part here, the reveals. So you had The Force Awakens was a tweet by Disney.
Casual.
Very casual, just saying oh, hey, The Force Awakens just finished. The Force Awakens? What? Yeah. And then The Last Jedi was on StarWars.com, but at the same time shot out on Facebook and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing this is probably going to be a tweet or a social media post or a StarWars.com, at the same time blog post saying...
I think it's going to be some sort of video.
Oh, you do? So you think they're going to change it up? Okay.
I think they're going to do at least one soundbite and then title. Something so a teaser, like the Ghostbusters thing that just went out. That's
so cool. Did you see that?
Yes, it was so good, guys. It was so good. Go see it.
I love the Ecto one.
All they did is show the car, and everybody is like, ah! Yeah. I feel like they could definitely do that with Episode 9. Just show one thing, like Rey turning someone turning the Falcon on, Rey lighting up a lightsaber, double-sided lightsaber.
Mm-hmm. Or it's just Kylo Ren sitting at a work table putting together his mask. He's just putting.
Oh,
it
I
back
thought he was
together.
typing. I was like, typing with
He's
two
typing
fingers.
with one hand and then putting the glue on. Like I'm thinking, like Will Ferrell in the Lego movie. He's just like President Business, just put the craggle, putting the craggle on his mask. I don't know, but yeah,
He's
I'm
just
excited.
humming to himself like some song that doesn't fit it whatsoever.
Yeah, what kind of
My
music? We
lovely
talked about that.
lady lumps.
What kind
Check
of
it
music is
out.
Kylo Ren listening to?
That's a good question. It's probably like something like Panic at the Disco or
I was thinking like the
Black
Cure.
Parade. The Cure. That's too
Yeah.
hip.
Is it too hip? I just figured it was
it's too
very
hip.
emo, you know?
Too hip.
All right, Lacey. So our next story, episode 9-ish. Well, episode 9
Oh my
definitely.
gosh, this story I'm so excited about.
John Boyega
My best friend.
teased on Instagram. He's the only one from Star Wars who's doing this. JJ.
Yeah, JJ.
And he wrote to Instagram, he showed a picture of his hands and they look beat
That's
up.
all he got approved. They're like, you can only show your hands.
They only show his hands, and you know, Lacey
'Cause
never
you know
knows
he
what to
got-
do with her hands. So hopefully John Boyega knows what to do with his when he's filming Star Wars. But it looks like he did something because he's bleeding. His hands are cracked. They're all worn and beat up. And
I don't
he
know what to
said-
do with my hands.
And he said, "Great working day on set. The whole team pushed themselves today to achieve something visually crazy. I've had many moments of shock on set, but not like today, and I can't wait until you know why." And he did the eyeballs thing and the hands thing, the emojis. And he wrote hashtag FN2187.
Those are like pray hands, like, yeah, all
like,
right.
Like we did it, like
yeah.
that? Okay.
Yep.
So, Lacey, FN2187, what do you make of Johnny Boy's post here?
That sounds like Stormtrooper related to me if he's doing that.
Yeah.
That sounds something related to, him starting a rebellion within the Stormtroopers, him saving children from the Stormtroopers. Like, that's what I'm thinking of, is like him redeeming himself in a way that's FN2187. Like
Okay,
him fighting back in that way.
The first thing I thought of was, oh, Finn's going to go back undercover as a Stormtrooper. But then I'm like, well, he went undercover in The Last
He
Jedi.
did that, yeah.
So we don't want to do that again. It's interesting.
It's
to me.
just so it has to be Stormtrooper related if he did hashtag FN2187.
Right. Unless, what if we find out, something about how he came about? Maybe everyone's so worried about Rey's backstory. No one ever talks about Finn's. What if we find out how he got drawn into this whole thing? What if Finn has family out there and we find Finn's family in this movie?
What if Naomi, whatever her name is his sister?
That would be kind of cool, yeah. Instead of it always being Lando's daughter or Lando's son or something.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Yeah, maybe it's...
But he doesn't he say he doesn't know who his parents are? I was taken from a family that I'll never know.
Yeah, he did. What if they find him? What if on the Resistance news, like, Finn saves the day again, kisses Rose Tico, and then like, I know him, that's my son.
Kisses Rose Tico. She's not in the third one.
Yeah, that's my son. I know him. I recognize that face. And then they go find Finn. I don't know. I mean, I don't
know how that would fit in the movie though. You have to think like narratively. Like,
I know. I'm just trying to think outside the box. I know a lot of people are posting Stormtrooper Rebellions and stuff like that, but and that would be cool because we haven't really seen too much of that.
It just makes me nervous because he does have blood on his hand.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know if that's his blood. I don't know if that's someone else's blood. Is that fake blood? Is that real blood? Did he fall? Did he just give it his all and cut himself? Is it a paper cut? Like, I don't know.
You know what it made me think of? With the Stormtrooper that made him turn had blood on his hands and he wiped it on Finn's mask.
Oh.
So what
if
he has
Finn
like
dies?
Oh, that would suck. Yeah. So it made me think of that. I know it's not tied to that guy or anything.
No,
but what if he has a moment like that he sees blood and it flashes him back to that moment or something?
I totally agree. I think I got that one signed. I did. That's the one I have signed by John Boyega. It's the action figure with the blood.
Because that was his last time as FN2187.
Yeah, I love everything about that costume design with the hand. The Wilson hand.
The Wilson, yeah, remind me of Wilson, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. You're thinking Stormtrooper Rebellion?
His hands are so dirty. Look how dirty his hands are.
Yeah.
They're so just covered in dirt. That just gives me anxiety.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's bleeding right out of the knuckle there.
That's what I'm saying. Like, And I don't know if you noticed, he's not showing the other hand.
Yeah. So you think Finn gets his thumb cut off?
I don't know. He's not showing the top hand. He's only showing the bottom hand. And he's only showing, like, there's blood. What if the top hand is dripping onto the bottom hand? What if he doesn't have fingers? What happened?
Took the picture?
Who took the picture? Yeah. Who took the picture? He has, like, a selfie stick. Like, he's like, guys, the picture is literally this. And it cuts off his hand. I never realized that till just now staring at it, that the top hand's hiding.
I mean, that could be something. Could just be someone was a bad photo taker. I don't know. So your inkling here is Stormtrooper Rebellion, though?
I don't know if it's Stormtrooper Rebellion or like Children's Slave Rebellion. Like him freeing the kids that are being taken from their families. Like him stopping it. Some
people said this means Phasma's coming back.
She's dead, guys. Phasma's gone.
Well, that was my bold prediction was Phasma's coming back, remember? I don't know, Lacey. My thing is, a lot of people talk about the Stormtrooper Rebellion. I'm leaning towards it's something to do with a flashback of when he was still a Stormtrooper. Not a literal flashback, but some kind
I don't know. Now we're getting to like crazy flashbacks. Like I feel like everything's like, and then there's a flashback. It's
no. I don't mean there's gonna be a flashback in the movie. I just mean like it's something about that moment because he's putting FN 2187, and the last time he was FN 2187, there was the guy with the blood on his hand, and he has blood on his hand here. I don't know.
Maybe.
But cool. I'm glad that he sensed something, even though it's probably
I know.
nothing.
John is killing the game. He's showing tons of stuff. He's killing it. He's an awesome person. He's having the time of his life. He's a really nice guy.
And it might be the last time, you know? We'll see.
He might be dead.
Yeah. I mean, they may not do an episode 10. This might be it. So he's just enjoying himself. All right. Yeah. Last story here, Lacey. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Disney. Here's they released someone, I forget who. They released the rumored details of the Rise of the Resistance.
Wasn't it in the Cast magazine?
It is in Attractions magazine. And
they showed pictures and everything.
Everyone's been focusing on the Millennium Falcon ride, but this sounds like the ride. This sounds like the one.
It's a trackless ride, right?
Yeah. So let me try
Those are the new things, guys. Trackless rides at Disney are like the hot stuff. It's like from overseas, what they brought over from China and Japan, like Mystic Manor. Trackless is like where it's going. Everything you see now is trackless. So like the movie theater ride that they got rid of, the Great Movie Ride that they're turning into a Mickey Mouse train ride is also going to be trackless. Okay. So that is the way to go.
All right. So this is spoilers because the ride does have a story. So if you don't want to listen, I mean, it's a ride, guys.
Batuu takes place within basically Force Awakens. That's where it's taking place, right? Because Kylo Ren has his mask on.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's in the mix. You got Hux in the mix here.
Because it's Rise of the Resistance, right?
Rise of the Resistance, right?
Okay. I just want to make sure everyone listening knows that this ride takes place during like Force Awakens, right before Force Awakens.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a defined. I think they want to keep it general so that you can just go there and experience it without it being like, well, this is.
But they also want to keep Kylo's mask on because nobody looks like Adam Driver.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You could fake a Rey, you can't fake an Adam Driver.
Right. All right. So this is ride spoilery, but whatever. So. The main story for the attraction begins once you've landed in the hangar of the First Order Star Destroyer. The hangar will be one of the largest rooms in the building, complete with animatronic First Order Stormtroopers, TIE fighters, and a view of space. Full-sized AT-ATs, like 40 feet tall.
I'm gonna cry. This is seriously gonna make me cry. This ride. I think just walking in the world is gonna make me cry. I got all teary-eyed when I was there last month. Just looking at the doorway with like the "Hey, coming soon," I was like, "Oh my god, it's happening! It's really happening!"
Oh, Lacey, you're right. It says here, guests will be loaded into one of two trackless First Order transport vehicles.
Lacey knows her Disney attractions.
The two vehicles will accompany each other through the duration of the experience. The vehicles burst into a hallway of the First Order Star Destroyer to come face to face with Kylo Ren.
Oh, my boy.
His lightsaber ignites and the transport backs up in retreat into the AT-AT room. The AT-ATs, as I said, will be full size and scale. The heads will move and they'll be shooting cannons at you.
Right.
The elevator twists and turns down a hallway and you meet back up with the other car. And Kylo Ren and General Hux are there. These might be animatronic versions of the two characters, though.
Or they might just be projecting it like they do in Guardians of the Galaxy.
They could be projecting, like Guardians.
Which makes
like
me wonder if Adam did it, because he's done all the voices for the launch bay stuff, guys. When you meet Kylo Ren, that is Adam Driver's voice. He recorded it twice. He got paid twice for that, because he got paid for Florida and for Disney separately. He had to re-record the same lines
What an
twice.
agent. What an agent
I
that
know.
guy
His
has.
agent's killing it. Randy Goldstein from Gersh Agency in New York. Fun fact.
Give Randy a call if you want him to represent you.
It's a girl. Randy, you're killing it.
Oh, good job, Randy. So it's probably like the Spider-Man ride at Universal. That's what I'm thinking.
I was at Universal in December too. It kind of sounds like the Transformer ride, or what was another ride I went on that was kind of like that? I'm trying to think. Transformers is probably the one that I'm thinking of the most, because it's the most recent one that they did. But it's like you're in the car and you're like, whoa, and then it comes up to a stop and then it goes backwards. I'm not a big fan of those, I'm not gonna lie, but because this is Disney, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
But I really do hope they get the projection of the actual actors, because Domhnall Gleeson is in the Harry Potter ride. He's like the whole ride. So he's definitely doing this. He's definitely in this ride. Adam Driver has done it for all the lines for Disney, so I can't see why they wouldn't want him to do it. And plus,
think about
that's cool.
Disney puts out all the stops. I mean, the Aerosmith ride, they did a whole thing with them. The whole band, like they don't.
So that part with Aerosmith, if you haven't been on the Harry Potter Escape from Gringotts Bank or whatever, that whole scene in the beginning is Domhnall Gleeson in that. So like he showed up, and every time I went on the ride like 4 times because I'm an idiot. But every time he walked in, I'd be like, "It's Hux," and everyone would be like, start laughing because everybody knows him as Hux.
Right.
But yeah. He's a good guy in that movie, not a bad guy.
Lacey had too much butterbeer that day.
I did. I had too much fun. Too much fun.
So Lacey, apparently this ride is just Kylo Ren keeps trying to capture your vessel, and explosions happen, and you get away from him, that sort of thing.
So
and it ends with a Tower of Terror-esque drop.
See, I'm telling you, I think it's like Tower of Terror in Disney World is trackless. In the sense that it's like not like you're on a roller coaster ride, but you like get brought up and then you go out and then you go through the hallway and it's like and then it goes to the end and then you get dropped.
But you know what, Lacey? Everyone's talking about the Falcon ride because the Falcon's so awesome, but this is the one. This is going to be the ride.
I think it sounds so good, and Kylo Ren's in it, so.
But I hope they add more rides, like 2 rides. I need more than 2 rides.
Yeah. But
maybe down the line they will. Maybe this is
I
just
think
the
that's the plan, but right now, I think they're only doing 2 because then they just did Toy Story Land in Disney World.
Right. All right. Okay, so that is it for the news. Do you have anything else you want to say about the Galaxy's Edge and that ride?
No, but fun fact. Here's a little insider information for Disney World and Disneyland that not many people know. Well, I'm sure Disney fans know this, but so a lot of people always ask how Kylo Ren and the Stormtroopers know the certain phrases. It's all with fingers and arm gestures. They say over like 80 phrases or 60 phrases, and it's based on how many fingers they release. So it's like if Kylo Ren wants to say a certain thing to you, he'll do certain points and phrases, and it's attached to the suit that then speaks the phrase.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like some guy hitting a button backstage?
Nope. It's all in the suit. So like if he wants to tell you one thing, he'll do 3 fingers. If he wants to do, I have to show the camera. So if he wants to do like a certain phrase, he'll do 3 and then 4 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Oh my God, poor Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff has to learn all the different phrases.
Jeez. That is pretty cool.
That is cool. Because James was asking me how he did it. And I was like, that's how he does it. Insider info.
Very cool. Did he tell you to have a magical stay?
He didn't. He told me to leave.
Because that is a thing. I've talked to people who worked at Disney, and they said, if you want to tell people to F off, just tell them to have a magical stay. So there you go.
No, I've never had anybody tell me that because I'm polite to everybody, because everybody is having a tough life. So just be nice. Why don't people be nice?
Yeah, I didn't deserve it, but whatever.
Oh, are we ready?
All right, we are ready, Lacey. We're going to hop in because it is time to speed through these next couple of topics so we can get to those Ask the Resistance questions. So it's time for the Scoundrels Rundown. You ready?
Yes.
Are you guys out there ready? I don't care if you're in your car and you're going to look weird. We're counting this down and we're going to yell it. All right, folks? Look to your left, look to your right, look straight ahead. And 3, 2, 1.
Punch it!
EA cancels their open world Star Wars game, guys. Yes, it is true.
EA is really dropping the ball here.
EA is dropping the ball. People are losing their mind everywhere about this situation because it seems like every time there is a game that is coming out, there is one being canceled. So keep your eyes on your updates for all this at Star Wars News.net because we're going to give you, we have some information that we heard from someone who claims that they worked on these games. We'll try to get you guys information on what may have happened, but the rumor is that there is a big shake-up between the people at EA and the people at Lucasfilm about what stories and what characters and certain things that didn't work in the movies that they want to do differently here. So these full things of these games that are being made and these developers are making them, and then all of a sudden they're coming down with their bosses saying we're scratching that, and they get mad. And it's all a big mess, let's put it that way.
What I read, I forget who did an interview. Someone did an interview recently about it in the last day or so, and they had said that it was just mismanaged. Like it just... catastrophic mismanagement.
Yeah. So we'll keep you guys up to date on all that stuff. And the next story in the rundown here, comic reviews, Age of Republic. You have a mishmash of stories here. Kyle Larson over at Star Wars News.net did this review. So thank you, Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
But you have a few stories here. You have Mace Windu in the guts, in the bowels of like caves and stuff like that, encountering all these crazy people and crazy creatures. This is pre the Phantom Menace. You have Qui-Gon Jinn before he even had an apprentice, aka Obi-Wan Kenobi. There's a story with Asaj Ventress in here. Very cool story there. Double-bladed sabers. Very exciting stuff. And then you have Rex and Binks on Mimban. Yes, Jar Jar Binks on Mimban. And I believe people were posting photos of Jar Jar Binks holding a lightsaber, which I think is absolutely insane. But the Jar Jar Binks apology tour continues. And now he is holding a lightsaber. So there you go, folks. I had joked with Matt Martin. I said, I hope he was cutting open a dead animal for warmth. Steady. That's a pretty good Binks impression there, Lacey. People probably think that...
Thank you so much.
Ahmed Best is actually on our show, but he's not right now.
I know. You're welcome anytime if you want to come on.
That'd be awesome. But that is the last story in the rundown. So we're going to send it over to Lacey to get to your questions in Ask the Resistance. I'm excited. Some of these are pretty dang cool. So Chewie, get us out of here.
All right, guys, it's time for Ask the Resistance. You have Star Wars questions. We have Star Wars answers.
I've been wondering, what are midichlorians?
But it's just John and I this week, so don't ask anything about books.
Lacey, should we both give our takes on these questions?
Yeah, sure. We got time.
Right. Okay. All right.
Watching the clock, guys. I've done a lot of winks today. I'm in a weird mood. Okay, so the first question is from Holocron Visions at Holocron Visions. And they asked, I feel like they are super nitpicky about the new trilogy, should take a step back and consider watching the oridge tridge, which is the original trilogy. I'm going to use that now. Oridge tridge. Yeah. With the same critical mindset. I love the oridge tridge, but it's the least logical / consistent of all the 3 trilogies. What do you think? Okay, I guess I'll start. The only thing that's not consistent for me for the original trilogy is the Leia Luke thing. Right. That is the only thing that sticks out to me that's like, what? Right. And like, even when I was little, I thought it was weird. So, I know people are like, well, you know, they have a love for each other. No, it's just weird, guys. It's just weird. They didn't plan it. It was just weird. Yeah, I'm not the person that's like super nitpicky, so it's really hard for me. Which, by the way, this is the same person that was like, Emperor Palpatine's wearing Payless slip-ons in that fan film. Like, I'm not super nitpicky, but...
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, you can nitpick fan films, I guess.
But like the new films, the only really things I'm like nitpicky about in the new films is like Akbar dying is like one of my nitpicking. And The Force Awakens is like a perfect film to me. Like there's nothing I would nitpick about it. I just love everything about it. So I don't know, John, what do you think? Because the only thing that really sticks out to me in the oridge tridge is Luke and Leia. That's the only thing that bothers me about the original trilogy. Everything else is just magical.
Holovish, thanks for oridge tridge, because you know this podcast is stealing that and we're using
hashtag that. Oridge tridge.
Right. Yeah, so thank you for this. Here's my take on this. The original trilogy started everything. So George Lucas didn't even know if he was going to make a Star Wars 2, aka a sequel to the original Star Wars. He had a story mapped out and he's like, well, let me chunk this up because it's way too long. He wasn't even sure at the beginning that Darth Vader was going to be Luke's father. That came about as they went along.
Right.
So I think that's hard to compare that to stuff that came later. Obviously, the prequels had to be mapped out because you had to lead up to the original trilogy. So forget that one. Now you get to the sequel trilogy. We're not sure because we have a third of this story left to go here. And it may even be the longest movie, so maybe even more than a third. I have to wait till this trilogy's done for me to be able to appropriately say, you know, what's weird about the story.
Yeah, but there has to be some things that kind of bother you a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, when he's saying people are nitpicky about the, Hux.
You don't like the Porgs.
It's not that I don't like the Porgs. I felt like everyone was too much with the Porgs that I got sick of them. I did like the Porgs at first, but then they turned on me via the people.
Yeah.
Hux, how Rian Johnson handled Hux. He made him very cartoonish, Daffy Duck.
Commander Hugs.
Yeah, compared to what JJ did. So I didn't like that, if you wanted to call that a nitpick. But in terms of
I know what it is, John. I know what you're nitpicky about.
What?
The treatment of Chewie.
Yeah, I guess
you didn't like how he didn't really get to,
the grieving?
The grieving thing, and then Leia didn't hug him.
Yeah,
and like,
that's true. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what he means by people are super nitpicky.
I love that I started this out being like, I'm not nitpicky. And then I just listed like 6 things that bother me.
Because he's talking about consistency and logic. So I think he means the connectivity of the stories overall.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. If you look at TFA and what was set up at TFA and then look at The Last Jedi, some of those questions aren't answered. So that's what a lot of people have nitpicking with is like, you set up all these questions like Maz being like, who's the girl? And like all this stuff. And then it's not really answered in The Last Jedi because they focused on Kylo, which is fine. I loved it. But some people have problems with that because they had the train going one way and then they were like, nah, we're going to take it in a different direction.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying I need to see 9 before I can really
how it brings it all back together.
Right. Because I think JJ will answer some of those questions. Some of them he won't. Some he'll let a comic book handle, I'm sure.
It'll end up being purgatory.
Yeah, I could see us finding out how Maz got the lightsaber in a comic book if people really don't care about it.
Yeah.
You know
I don't think that's the question people have a problem with. I think the question is usually like, who actually is Rey? Like, how did... They kind of they obviously answer why Kylo went bad, but like they really didn't get into it. It was like one scenario.
Yeah. Well, I think, like I said last week, I think we're going to get that New York Comic Con announcement this year with Claudia Gray writing The Fall of Ben Solo. Or whatever.
Please give me that book.
She said she wanted it. She announced at Comic Con in 2017 that she would want to do that. So
she's great.
Yeah. All right. So I hope we answer that. Me though, I gotta wait till I see episode 9 before I can stack them all up against each other. But thanks for the question and thanks for the oridge tridge.
Oridge tridge. All right. Next is from Kai Rai Ren at Ryan Scott 00. Ryan Simi.
That sounds like a patron to me.
It is a patron. Hey.
It's a Patreon.
It's a Patreon. And he asks, how would you feel about Chris McQuarrie writing and directing a Star Wars film? And he's referring to the director of the Mission Impossible series, right? He did Mission Impossible Fallout. Mm-hmm. Loved that movie, guys. Go see it. It's insane. Tom Cruise is not messing around.
It's a part of his question. He says it right here.
Oh, sorry. I got excited. The question goes on to say he has taken Mission Impossible to the next level with the last 2 films. Sorry about that, Ryan. I just got really excited. Can we just say that Tom Cruise jumped out of that plane 106 times, guys? 106. He broke his foot, kept running. That's the scene they use in the movie.
Maybe I should become a Scientologist.
Shot that like motorcycle scene around the Arc de Triomphe without like a helmet or anything. He was just like, let's do this, and like went for it. Like, I don't know who his insurance broker is, but that person's probably like nervous all the time.
His data count must be through the roof.
Ridiculous. John, why don't you start? How would you feel about Chris McQuarrie doing the writing and directing of a Star Wars film?
I gotta be honest here. I haven't seen the last couple of Mission Impossibles, though.
Fallout was amazing.
Yeah, I've heard they're very good. He did.
They're also J.J. Abrams movies.
Yeah, didn't Chris McQuarrie didn't Chris
Barbara Walters
have some input or something with Rogue One? Like loosely, he was tied in with something that was going on with the rewrites, or I don't
know, but I feel like these type of things
like that happened.
It did, and I feel like it's one of those things that a lot of times these directors, like J.J. Abrams, could call up anybody and be like, "Hey, man, can you look at the script?"
Because I thought,
I feel like it's one of those things.
What was his name? Tony Gilroy, the guy who came in and gutted Rogue One.
Proudly gutted.
And then he went on. He's like, "Yeah, that movie was crap, and then I fixed it. I'm the hero." Wasn't that him?
Yeah.
I thought he was him and McQuarrie were involved in discussions about Rogue One or something. But everything I'm hearing about this guy is that he kills it. So why
He's
not?
So good.
Why not give him a Star Wars movie, right?
Yeah. What character would you want him to do?
If he doesn't do well, they'll just fire him anyway. Who cares?
Too soon.
What actor would I want him to work with?
No, like what character would you want him to direct if we were doing like a solo Star Wars
you're saying
movie?
do an existing character?
Standalone, yeah.
Oh, man.
That's my follow-up, guys.
How about Chris McQuarrie doing our Darth Maul movie or something?
Ooh, I like that.
The Crimson Dawn movie with Kira and Darth Maul.
It's got to be that or like Boba Fett, where it's like an action-filled movie. Like it can't be something with like plot like an Obi-Wan, which is like very plot exposition heavy.
I agree. Yeah. How about Maul, Kira, and Crimson Dawn with Chris McQuarrie, and we get that rolling for 2021. Let's do it.
Speaking of Darth Maul and Kira, I rewatched Han Solo the other day, which John Kasdan liked my tweet. Hey, John, hope you're listening.
John Kasdan liked my reply to your tweet.
Yes. Hey, John, what's up? Want to come on the show? So
anytime.
That movie holds up, guys. I talked about this in our Patreon Q&A of like talking about what movies we prefer to watch. As you guys know, The Force Awakens is my go-to shit. Like, it's my movie. I almost just swore like there. It is my go-to movie. I always watch it. And the other night I was like, you know what? Night before my new job, I'm going to watch Solo, get in a good mood, like really get going. I smiled through the whole scene. And John, the scene where he flies through the maelstrom and he flips the Millennium Falcon to knock the TIE fighter into the...
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That scene is epitome of Star Wars. Like Star Wars. Mm-hmm. It's like smiling and he's like, I learned this from my friend Needles. And then he died while doing it. It's like so Han Solo. It is perfect. Guys, go watch it on Netflix. It is amazing. It is such a good movie and it holds up.
Yeah.
And
it's a lot of fun.
Everybody that's talked to me that's not a huge Star Wars fan like I am has said that movie was amazing. Yeah. Every single person. And they said they like it better than Rogue One.
One of the most, if not the most underrated Star Wars movie going.
I've never smiled so hard watching a Star Wars movie like I did watching Solo.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. We're going a little... Sorry, guys. We're going a little tangents. That's because James isn't here to reel me in. Okay. Paul
Sometimes
Buckle.
we're reeling James in too, though, to be fair.
I know. He'd be like, Lisa, keep going. Paul Buckle at Buckle with the L as a 1. Leet speak. He asks, so here's another question I've been pondering for some time. Oh, do tell, Paul Buckle. He says, do you think carbon freeze will be a major plot point in a future movie? For example, what if a character in the sequel movies is a lot older than we think? Could stir things up a bit. Thanks. Paul, thank you for your question. Carbon freeze I can't see that being a major plot point. I get it because Return of the Jedi, it's like a huge thing. You know, Hans gets taken, but that is like... anytime you get into like time travel or something that forces a character to be able to go to a different time period, I just feel like it's sloppy writing in the sense of like, why?
Yeah. Save that
like
for the
Han
Pauly Shore
Solo
movie.
Right. Like Han Solo made sense because he's a trophy because he ripped off Jabba so many times that he didn't want to kill him. He wanted him to basically suffer alive.
And it was only 1 year. It wasn't like he woke up 50 years
Which,
later.
again, I didn't realize it was a year. I don't know why. That's something I never realized. Could it be a major plot point? I don't think so. Only because Star Wars movies are always about the bad guys versus the good guys. So I can't see the plot point ever being something related to freezing a good guy in carbonite. Yeah,
I'm with you there. I think people are always, when we're leading up to
it's a good idea, though.
Yeah. When we're leading up to these new Star Wars movies, people are always looking for the crazy, wild type of thing that could happen. Or
you could guess it right, like John with the MacGuffin.
Oh, well, blind squirrel. Once in a while finds the nut. I don't know. That type of thing, you save that for a comic book. But because, with this movie, episode 9, it's going to be, I don't think they're going to go too crazy with some kind of wild, this is how we're going to explain that. This person was from the prequel era, and here they are. No, come on. I don't
You know what
it
makes me think of? In an anime, there's an anime called Gundam Wing, Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. And in the later seasons, they freeze this girl that's the main love character for the main guy, hero. They freeze her and then bring her to Mars. And then they like defreeze her and she lives like later in the future. Like that's where I see that plot line, like in an anime.
Yeah. Or like Encino Man, where it's like, oh, Brendan Fraser's a caveman. We're going to teach him how to drink Slurpees and surf.
That is the worst example.
He was frozen.
No, but I'm saying of why I wouldn't use that plot device.
That's what I'm saying. I don't like it.
Wait, we're idiots. Captain America.
Captain America, Frozen.
Is the only good example, guys. Paul, the only good example is Captain America.
Yeah, well, like I said, save it for a comic book. Comic book movie. So, I don't know. I'm not digging that for Star Wars. We always seem to try to make our guesses complex with Star Wars and upcoming movies, and they're usually pretty direct and to the point because that's what George Lucas was
like Bendemption. So direct, so to the point.
Good guys, bad guys. Red lightsabers are for bad guys. Blue lightsabers are for good guys. I love that stuff. So I'm gonna say no, but it's a very cool idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, Paul. Very cool,
and it's been done before. Yeah,
I just don't know that it would come into play here as some kind of twist. That's all.
Dun dun dun! It was all a dream. Andrew Espinal is our last question at I Drew on You, and he asks, "This one's been on my mind for a long time, guys. Why are you waiting to ask these questions?" This is the second one that you guys are like, I've been thinking about this for a while. Just ask it. Ask your questions, guys. Don't be afraid. It's okay.
Use that hashtag, bro.
Don't be afraid. I feel it too.
Lacey's getting ready. We're playing the quote game Thursday.
Oh, we are. Okay. This one's been on my
Justice for John. Justice for John.
Please don't start that. This one's been on my mind for a long time. Is Darth Vader a Sith Lord or Dark Jedi? It's my understanding a Sith Lord, you must kill your master to take the title, which Vader never did as he was under Palpatine. Guys, if you like Palpatine, check out our episode last week where we talk about him ad nauseum.
Yes.
Is he a Jedi that just used the dark side? Which could be an example. Kylo, I wouldn't say is a Sith. He's not a Sith. He's just a dark-using Darksider guy. That makes sense, right? He's not a Sith. I wouldn't call Kylo a Sith.
No, he's not a Sith. He's not a part of that religion. But is Darth Vader a Sith Lord? Yes, he is. They call him Lord Vader. Palpatine
Lord Vader.
Darth Maul, Lord Maul. I think they were. Now, whether there's rules of the Sith and that sort of thing, and it's possible.
I don't know that.
Look at it, all religions, they change over time, they change the rules, and they change that stuff. So, yeah, there were Sith Lords. Darth Vader was the the Sith Lord for sure. Everyone called him Lord Vader. So, and he
not only that, stand in that hallway in Rogue One and tell Darth Vader he's not a Sith.
yeah, you're not a Sith Lord. He's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna press you up against the ceiling, pretend I forgot about you, and then I'm gonna cut you in half. That's what I'm gonna do. No, yeah, I think. What do you think, Lacey? I think he's a Sith Lord. I think it's pretty simple to me.
I think he's a Sith Lord. I mean, on all their marketing, they use him as a Sith Lord, and all their stickers and posters and everything else. It's his picture when they put Siths on there.
Right.
It's his or Emperor Palpatine or Darth Maul. That's what they always put on that stuff.
Right.
So yeah, I would think he might not fall into those rules of like take your master, kill your master.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he eventually kills his master, so even then, he doesn't exactly go back to the good side.
Yeah, it's like Yoda telling Luke he's not a Jedi until he confronts Vader. It's like, what if someone told Vader he wasn't a Sith Lord until he confronts Palpatine?
Right. But that is a good question, though. That is a good thing to debate because he doesn't fall under it.
Right, but again, Palpatine.
I would say he's a Sith.
Maul, Lord Maul.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know. I think they were Sith Lords.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for your questions. These were some good ones.
Yes,
as I said before, don't wait to ask your questions. You can ask your question today.
Right. Today
Shoot us your question.
Day.
Yeah, it could be your turn.
All right.
Your moment. You can tweet at us at RBATSWNN on Twitter or use the hashtag AskTheResistance, and you could be on the show. Anything Star Wars related, moment like this, like get your moment.
Yeah.
Own it. Back to you, John.
Thank you. And if we're talking about Sith Lords, get your moment. All right. First off, I do want to thank all of our patrons on our Patreon page. You can check that out at patreon.com/resistance broadcast. I want you guys to think about this for a second. You go to work, you drive to work, you go to Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, you buy a coffee every day on your way to work. What is that? 22 or so days. That's about $50 a month on your coffees. Take one of those coffees,
right?
Take one of those coffees, guys, and check us out at the Resistance Broadcast on Patreon. For that $2 a month, you get access to our page. We're posting stuff every day. You're involved in a great community. We have exclusive content that immerses you even deeper into our podcast experience. So go check out the page. If you dig it, sign up. There's 5 tiers. Whatever you think's the best, join us. We appreciate it.
Yep, it helps us buy equipment. It helps us support travel. It helps us support prizes for you guys. Our really cool monthly transmissions that I send to people in the mail. You get exclusive stickers, stuff like that, exclusive product. All that stuff supports us and lets us do new things, like me reviewing toys and stuff like that helps me do that. So,
and our coverage of Celebration is going to be quite extensive. It's going to be Star Wars Newsnet's first time really there as a group.
Not mine.
Not Lacey's, and the Resistance broadcast covering it will be our first time collectively doing that, and a lot of what you guys do goes to that as well. So we appreciate it. And
you'll get behind the scenes footage of us there on the Patreon.
Yeah,
page.
and you're gonna get us smashing pies in James' face when they announce that Kenobi movie
and slumber parties.
Right? Yes. Yay! I do want to give a special thanks to our generals on our Patreon page. We have Adam Odell, Carmelo, aka Grey Jedi, and Valerie Trichkoff. Thank you so much for being generals. We appreciate it so much. Guys, make sure you are subscribed to our podcast, which is always free, and it's twice a week. Mondays and Thursdays. You can find us on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. Sign up, subscribe, comment, like, get involved. It is a great community, as I said, and those podcast episodes are always free and always twice a week for you to enjoy, just like this one here. So we appreciate you listening, and share the episodes. Tell people about it, because spreading the word is the best way for us to grow. So thank you. Make sure you guys go to StarWarsNewsNet.com. That's our website for your latest news, reviews, editorials, information, and more. You guys can find me on Twitter at Johnny Hoey, and writing and editing over at Star Wars Newsnet. You guys can find James Bainey, who is not with us today, on Twitter and Instagram at Myra Trunks, and probably doing some videos for our Patreon page. So, and
miss you, James.
And James always does our t-shirt designs, and I'm hoping he does that Kylo Ben t-shirt that we came up with last week. We'll see what happens there. Maybe that's why he's not here. Maybe he's out there at home plugging away, designing some. He's not. I think he's at a wedding. But anyway, Lacey, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at Lacey Gillerin, where I talk about Star Wars all the time and Kylo Ren and Bendemption and interact with you guys. I love talking to new people all the time. So come chat with me about Star Wars. We have a good time. We joke. We have fun. That's the point.
That's true. That is very true. We like to have a nice balance of informative, cool discussions and fun, because Star Wars is a damn good time if you remember that it's supposed to be a good time. Speaking of which, guys, we're going to play a game on Thursday. So we hope you enjoy your weeks. What we're doing, we're bringing back the game Who Are You?, where Lacey and I are going to combat with a guessing game over quotes, and we have to figure out who said them. And you can play along at home. Let us know if you did better than us. You probably will. And you can,
I didn't cheat the last time, by the way.
She didn't.
Everyone says I cheated.
She just didn't give me the points I deserved, and that's okay. We created a cool sticker out of it. So there you go. But we're also going to talk about J.J. Abrams, and could he possibly be the Kevin Feige for Star Wars in the future? We'll find out what we think about that. We'll see you guys on Thursday morning with another episode right here on the Resistance broadcast, and we'll see you around, kids.
Bye.